Welcome to the Seriously podcast. I'm your host, Annaliese Gann. Now let's get into it. Welcome to the Seriously podcast, where we make light of serious conversations with really interesting people. Kirra Schofield was on season 5 of Love Island Australia and is the sister of MAFS season 10 breakout star Bronte Schofield, where Kirra has also appeared. Kirra entered the Love Island villa to find a partner, but instead she became face-to-face with nonstop drama. I wanted to get Kirra in to talk about all of this, reality TV, and also what she's doing now. So here she is, the beautiful Kirra Schofield. Welcome back to Seriously. This week we have on Kirra Schofield.
Hello, guys.
How are you?
I'm really good. How are you?
Good. Now, your sister has been in here a few times.
Okay.
And I don't know you too well.
Yeah.
So we're going to start off with some rapid fire questions.
Let's do it.
Okay, amazing.
Ready.
You ready?
Yeah.
They're very easy, so just so
Not me, I'm like so nervous.
just so the audience can get to know you a bit more.
Okay.
Sweet or savoury?
Savoury every day.
What song at the moment do you have on repeat?
Oh, that's a good one. I don't even remember the name of it. It's by Miguel.
Oh, Sure Thing?
No, it's like All I Want Is You. I think that's...
Oh, yep.
Yeah,
Good song.
My little lover girl.
A good song. What makes you smile the most?
What makes me smile? Probably my sister.
Oh. What's one thing people don't know about you?
Oh, this is a good one. I don't know. Actually, I almost died as a kid, as a baby, twice.
Really?
I lived to fight another. Yeah, twice. So the first one is I contracted this like really like super rare, I'm gonna say disease, which I should have, like infants get, and I should have died, but I didn't. And then the second time around is I was on my bed and I fell head through a window, and like the guy who fixed the window was like, how are you not like?
Wow, you live to tell a tale.
I know.
Oh
9
my
lives
God.
like a cat. 9 lives. 7 more to go.
That leads me into my first question of the show.
I'm ready.
Well, I want to know, because you appeared on Love Island season 5 in Australia.
Yep.
How did this opportunity come up? And like, tell me everything. Like, I just want to know, how did it come up? What made you apply?
Okay, so obviously I was on MAFS because my sister was on MAFS. So I appeared on MAFS season 10 as a bit of a supporting role for Bronte. And I guess through that I was recognised, and I don't know, it's hard. I applied but I didn't. So when I broke up with my boyfriend, I was really petty, and I was like, okay, I'm going to apply for Love Island because it was something he always said he didn't want me to do. And I was like, okay, I'm going to go do it. And then I probably did about 3 questions, and then like the guilt kind of set in, and I was like, oh no, okay, I'm not going to do this. So I just left it, not thinking that they could see like half written applications.
Oh.
So I left it, yeah. And then maybe about 3-4 days later, I get a call from producers being like, hey, Kirra, like we've seen like you've started filling out an application, but would love you to finish it, kind of thing. And I was like, oh, okay, sure. So I finished it, and then like a day later, they were like, yeah, we love you. We're going to get you in for an interview. I was like, okay. And then literally went in for the interview, and then it just went from there. And
Wow.
Yeah.
So how early on did you know you were on the show?
So it actually takes ages. So from the interview to when I found out was probably maybe 2 months.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they keep you waiting. But during that process, though, they are sending you like police clearances and like medicals, and like if they are sending you that, it's a really good sign that you are on the show, because it's like they're not going to get you to do all that and then be like, nah, you're not on the show. Mm-hmm. It's like, oh, why am I getting all these bloods done? Why am I getting police checked if I'm not going to get on the show? That's a really good sign. So once I started getting all those roll through, which is probably maybe like 2-3 weeks later, I was like, okay, it's looking good. But like for me, I was like, holy shit, like I didn't really expect it to go anywhere, like after the interview, because it's like you walk out and you're like, okay, bye, and they're like, okay, bye, and then you're like twirling your thumbs. But yeah, it just went from there, and then I got the call at work actually, and they were like,
tell us about that.
So I was at work, and then they were just like, oh, hey, like we're just wanting to let you know that like you've made leading casts, and like you're going to be on Love Island. And I was like, oh, fuck. And at that time I worked in childcare, so I had to like leave the room and I was like, oh my fucking God, I'm going to be on Love Island.
Because were you a fan of the show?
Yes and no. So I'm a really big fan of the UK version. I just find it super entertaining. I just love their accents. And I'd watched bits and bobs of like Aussie versions in the past, but like never a full season. So like I knew what I was getting myself into, so it was exciting, but like I'd never watched a full season ever, other than now my own.
And appearing on Married at First Sight, obviously as a supportive role of Bronte, you kind of knew what reality TV was like. Yeah. Like, did you kind of know what you were getting yourself into?
Yeah, definitely. I think I definitely had the upper hand towards going in. It helped knowing how producers were and how production worked. So it's kind of like I always kept it in the back of my mind. So
smart.
It definitely helped, and I think I went in with the upper hand. Although my journey did turn out a bit shit, but you just never know. Like, producers sell you the absolute dream, and like I guess in your naive, excited state, you're kind of like, oh my God, amazing, but they're telling that to everyone. They're saying Australia's gonna love you. You're gonna be this. You're gonna be that. Like, we'll do this. We'll do that, and you're like, okay.
Right.
It doesn't work that way.
Well, yeah. As you said, as beautiful as Love Island is and the villa and the location and everything like that, things did become quite dramatic for you early on.
Very.
Just to say the least.
Yep.
You know, some things happened. Do you want to expand on those? For those who didn't watch it, I've seen it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So basically early on, I would say maybe like 3-4 days in, we had a bombshell walk in. And prior to the bombshell walking in, I was as single as they come. So I was matched at the time with a guy called Ollie, and pretty much after like 24 hours we were like, no. Like friend zoned the shit out of each other. I was like, you are not for me, and he was like, you're not for me. So I was as single as I come, and I was so keen for a bombshell to walk in. Like, I was telling the whole villa, I was like, oh my God, I'm so excited. We get the text, boom, bombshell. And I was like, yes! He comes on in, Sophie reads the text, and it's like, meet Reed. And I was like, hang on a minute, I only know one Reed. And then he walks through the door, and I was like, funnily enough, it's the fucking guy I know. And I was like, you are lying. But in that moment, I didn't know anything. Like, I had like good, I guess, like I knew of him as a good guy. So I was like, okay, this could be okay. And like, we'd matched on Tinder before, so I was like, okay, there's some sort of attraction there. And then, yeah, the big old bombshell came out when he sat down and we got to know it. Like, we were getting to know him, and he was getting to know us, that obviously he'd slept with my sister. And I didn't know that. Obviously production, they say they didn't, but production definitely would have known that like Reed had, you know, been with my sister, and that I was also going to be in the villa, because that, of course, it makes great TV.
It's too coincidental.
Way too coincidental. And then, because obviously before you go in, you actually, like, in the application, you have to fill out whether you know famous people or like whether you know past reality TV stars. And Reed had actually said that he knew Bronte. So, I mean, it makes sense to the fact that that's probably why he got on. A, he knew my sister. B, I was going to be in the villa. So
did that unsettle you from then?
Oh, 100%. The moment I found that out, I was like, oh, fuck, here we go. Because I was like, friend-zoned Ollie, waiting for a bombshell walks in, slept with my sister. Great, you're off limits. I was like, where do I go now?
See ya.
Perfect. And then, like, obviously there was that conversation between Reed and I on the terrace where I was like, listen, you and I, never happening. Like, we can't couple up. It's weird. Like, no thanks. And then obviously fast track down to there being a dumping, and I was the only single girl. Reed wasn't in a stable couple. Ollie and I were friend zoned. So it's like they were kind of like at me with different stories. And what you didn't see behind like closed doors was just the amount of conversations that were going on, and like the amount of people coming at me, like just telling me different things. Like Ollie was coming at me being like, Reed said this to the boys, and then Reed was coming up to me being like, I really want to get to know you, which obviously very convenient, and I knew that. Like, before, there was like a conversation between Reed and I, and we were on the couch upstairs, before that conversation, we were walking up the stairs, which this didn't get aired. And I was like, oh, conveniently, you now want to pull me for a chat after we've ignored each other the entire time you've been in here. Now you want to pull me for a chat? I was like, this is oddly very convenient. But I was like, I'm just going to hear him out. Like, being the trusting, nice person that I was like, hey, I'll hear you out, sure. And then, yeah, just the wool got pulled over my eyes in that conversation of him being like, you know, I want to get to know you. If it's not weird, we can put the whole sister thing behind us. And I was like, oh, okay. I was like, you know, like I know my sister the way that I do. I was like, Bronte's not going to care. I was like, Bronte doesn't care. Why should I care? I now have someone sitting in front of me telling me that they want to get to know me. I'm in a friend couple. Perfect. This is perfect. Mm-hmm. And then I had Ollie telling me, oh, you know, like, please pick me. Like, if the roles were reversed, you know I would pick you. And I was like, oh, the fuck you would not. I was like, no, you wouldn't. And just like this overwhelming sense of just had everyone at me. And then I had like, obviously the other islanders coming at me with their opinions. And I was just like, holy shit, like I am going to like responsible for sending someone home. I've just had all this shit go on the last few days and now I've got to send someone home. And then like, it was just a lot. It was a lot.
That's a lot for one person.
It was.
What about the Abby situation?
Ooh, yeah, the Abby situation. So, obviously, this was a huge bombshell for me. So, when we got the text, or Reed and Zach got the text, and it was like, oh, like, can't wait to meet you, like, love Abby. I was like, oh my God, cute. Like, I have a friend called Abby, and I was like, oh my God, I wonder if she'll apply and didn't tell me. Like, haha. She didn't come to mind whatsoever. Like, at all. So, I guess when Zach came back, and he, like, had us all around the little fire pit area and he was like, oh my God, and explaining and then dropped the bomb that it was Abby, I was like, you're lying.
So
like,
Abby, for everyone who doesn't know,
is, sorry, I always get confused how to explain it. So it's Bronte's ex-husband's secret girlfriend.
Yeah. From MAFS.
From MAFS.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was huge, scandalous when she was set to enter the villa. And Zach, I feel like, definitely didn't approach the situation in a very lighthearted way. In true Zach fashion, he came in and was very theatric about it. And it's just like, these are my emotions at hand as well. So it's like, I feel like he was a bit insensitive towards that. And at the time he was relaying all of this, I was numb. I was just so numb because I was like, I've just had a really shit beginning. I've just dumped someone. I'm coupled up with someone who, I guess, didn't really want to be with me. And now you've just walked through the door. Abby's just walked through the door. So I'm like, sick. So in the moment, I was super calm. I was like, okay, it's fine. These are the cards I've been dealt. It'll be fine. But what we didn't see was that I literally lost my shit. Like, I walked off after that conversation and completely flipped my shit at production. Like,
did you?
Yeah, full blown. Like,
I didn't say that.
I don't know how I wasn't kicked out, to be fair. Like, I was dropping C-bombs. Like, no, tomorrow. I was like, the executive had to come out and I was like locked in the pantry, like had to be demiked, and I was going feral. I was like, why would you guys do this to me? Like, is going on? First you send in Reed, now Abby. I was like, guys are taking the piss. Like, it was insane. Like, it took ages for me to calm down too.
It's very hurtful because you uprooted your life.
I did, yeah.
And then they're just playing all these manipulative mind games with you when you're actually there for a proper reason. You're not just...
I was there for genuine reasons too.
Yeah.
So it was just hurtful, especially since they'd relayed all these great things and how they were, I guess, in a sense, going to protect me and... You know, my journey was going to be positive. So, like, and I just felt like I was the villa punching bag. Like, I was the only person that this shit was happening to. I was like...
It was all about you, pretty much.
Literally.
But, like, yeah, exactly. It was like the whole storyline was framed around Kirra.
Yeah.
But also it was like the two people that would trigger you probably the most of anyone there. Yeah. And it's just not fair. Like, it's just...
I know. I literally sat in one of my, like, beach huts and I was like, at this rate, A, send in Harrison, B, send in my ex-boyfriend. I was like, keep him coming at this rate. I was like...
Get Harrison on the phone.
I was like, I don't even care. Send in whoever you want. I'm numb. And you do. You just, like, you're so numb. Like, after Abby walked in, like, obviously it was, like, a very like dramatic, like theatrical entrance, and it's like they kind of pitted us against each other. And I like preface, I didn't know Abby. I'd never met her prior to the show.
Oh, how awkward.
Yeah.
So you're just like two strangers staring at each other.
Who apparently have
each other.
beef. But I was like, if you're fine with Bronte, then you're fine with me. And that's the conversation that we had. But I was just like how they pitted us, I guess, against each other, like in like promotions and stuff. I was like, awkward. But we were fine. Honestly, like the moment she walked in, we like, it was very awkward in the beginning, but like obviously I knew and she would have known that we have to live in the villa together. So it's kind of just like we either get along or this is going to fucking suck. So
yeah,
you just kind of like smile and wave and just be like, okay.
Rise above it. I love that.
Exactly.
That's a good trait that you have. I feel like a lot of people wouldn't.
Yeah.
But that's good that you were so mature about like
maturity.
It's not about Abby, but about like the production playing games. Like I would have been so pissed. And honestly, like I would have probably left.
Oh, I threatened many times.
Really?
Many times.
Okay.
Yeah, it definitely helped having the emotional maturity that I do have. I think going in at 26, like you do have that emotional maturity, and I think like I just handled situations like just, I don't know, I'm proud of how I handled the situations.
Yeah, it's not like you're 18 and this is your first rodeo with drama.
Yeah, and because of MAFS, I was like, I knew like there'd be some sort of drama, but I didn't realise it was going to be that intense. But hey, character building.
Good on you.
Yeah.
Where is it filmed, by the way?
It's in Mallorca, in Spain.
Oh, that's fancy.
Yeah, and you get flown there for free. Like, it's
You're like, sign me up.
Oh, the moment I found out it was in Spain, I was like, I'm going. I was like, I don't care the circumstances. Like, I am going, especially because it's free. I was like, oh my God, sign me up. It's unreal.
Now, you seem really down to earth and relatable. Do you think that's why like so many people have resonated with you on social media? Because whenever I see comments about you on social, it's always positive.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
That's good to hear. Yeah, I think so. I like to tell myself that I'm a relatable person and down to earth. But I just like to keep it real, and I'm just always myself, and I think that transpires on TV. Like, I don't try and be anyone else. Like, I handle and like just show emotion in the moment, and people can recept that however they want. Like, obviously there's going to be people who love you and people who don't, but I just focus on the people who do. But yeah, I'd like to think that like I'm well relatable. But I just keep it real, I guess. Try.
What's it like having instant fame? Has it changed your life in any way? Like, do people recognise you?
It's definitely different. Like, now going out, like even to the gym, or like if you're going out for dinner, or like even just going for a walk, like you'll be stopped 100%. Or like if they're not, I guess, confident enough to stop you, you'll get like them point or stare or be like, oh my God. And like it is cute, but I'm like, just stop and say hello. I'm not going to bite your head off. I have a massive resting bitch face, so I feel like obviously if people do see me, they're probably going to be like, oh, she looks angry. But I'm like, probably just deep in thought, and that's just my face. But like, definitely come up and say hello. But yeah, we do get it very often, and that's definitely something that I'm still trying to get used to. Mm-hmm. Like, when people stare in public, I'm like, oh my gosh, something on my face, or like, did they watch the show? Like,
Definitely watch the show.
It's a very, very bizarre, I don't know, it's a bizarre concept. It's a bizarre thing to even like be feeling and like dealing with. Like, you go from, I guess, not really many people knowing who you are to almost like stepping out the door and having almost everyone know who you are. Mm-hmm. It's wild.
So would you do reality TV again?
I've always said never say never. I feel like it depends on the show. Mm-hmm. It depends on where I am in my life. And it just depends on where I am mentally, emotionally, physically, and if it just felt right, 100%. I'd absolutely do it again. I think it's a lot of fun, and I think now doing 2 shows, like I would be so well versed in like what I'd be walking into. So yeah, never say never.
Are you single or dating?
I'm very single.
Really?
Like, I'm as single as they come. Like, I'm on Hinge and I've tried Hinge, but it is useless. Like, I just don't find, sounds mean, but I don't find anyone attractive. Like, my standards are very, very high. And it's just, Hinge is not it. And I'm like, I wouldn't get on Tinder and I wouldn't get on Bumble. So Hinge is kind of it. Yeah, I'm as single as they come. Like, it's just like, even when you match with people, they'll match with you and they won't talk to you. So I think a lot of people are on there for like their own ego and like their own validation. And it's like, after coming off the show, it's like, are you matching with me because you know who I am, or like, are you wanting to like go on dates with me because you know who I am, and like you can potentially benefit from like my followers and who I am. And I matched with a guy maybe about 3-4 days ago, and conveniently he was like, oh my God, I've always wanted to be on reality TV. And I was like,
you're blocked.
I was like, you're done. I was like, I just stopped replying. I was like, I'm not it, bro. Good luck to you.
It's so cringe when that happens. That used to happen to me, like...
It's the worst.
Oh, yeah, they just use you for your profile. It's like...
100%. And I'm just like, I'm not the one. I'm sure there's many other, reality stars that you could try that with, but I'm not the one, bro.
So who's your dream guy?
Looks-wise?
Yeah. God. And personality. Everything.
God. I would say celebrity crush-wise, it would be Dylan O'Brien.
I don't know who that is.
Have you seen Teen Wolf?
No.
Oh, fuck. He's from Teen Wolf.
Is he like, what does he look like?
And he's from Maze Runner as well.
I don't watch movies.
Right. He's like, I don't know, he's not like your stereotypical, like, overly good-looking guy. He's a little bit goofy looking. But
cute.
But I love it. And, like, sometimes he has, like, the shaved head with, like, and he dyes it blonde, and he's got, like, the nice beard. Oh, here we go. He's just so cute.
He's cute. Sorry, my producer showed me who it is.
And I think it's personality as well. Like, he's so funny and so cute and goofy that I'm just like...
He looks charismatic.
Yeah, just really attracted to him. I'm also very attracted to, like, the Tom Hardys and the Matthew McConaughey's. I have, like...
Okay, so a bit of a spectrum.
Yeah, I have a type of, like, the brunettes, brown eyes, like...
So if you're a big goofy brunette, brown eyes, slide into Kirra's DMs.
And lots of tattoos, I'll fall in love with you.
Hey guys, if you've loved listening to the Seriously podcast, we'd really appreciate a 5-star review on Apple or Spotify podcasts. It keeps us making incredible content for all of you to hear. Thanks so much. You and Bronte, you guys have a beautiful bond.
We do, yeah.
Very close.
100%.
You're like salt and pepper.
We are, honestly.
Well, literally, like, you look like salt and pepper.
She's like I call her my platonic soulmate. Like, I'm like...
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe in, like, you can have a platonic soulmate, and I believe that she's mine. We always say that we reckon we've been, like, together in, like, so many different lives. Because we just have such, like, a crazy bond. Like, she can, like, think something and I'll say it, or, like, vice versa, and we're like, what the fuck? It's like a twin bond. Like, when you speak to twins and they're like, oh my God, we have this like, weird, like, telepathy, like, bond shit. And I'm like, we're not twins, but we have that.
That's so good for sisters, because I know a lot of sisters, myself included, we argue a lot. Like, we love each other, but, like, we're not, like, like that bond, and that's amazing.
Yeah. See, when I hear that sisters are, like, I guess, yes, obviously sisters fight. Bronte and I bicker like old married couple. But, like, when I hear that there's sisters who just don't get along, I'm like, what do you mean? That's, like, you literally birthed the best friend. Like, that's your bestie. So I just get confused. But, like, I guess I've just never viewed Bronte any other way. So it's like, when I hear, like, these horror stories of, like, sisters who just don't get along, I'm like, wow. It's like I literally have her name tattooed on me. She has...
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah, we're literally, like, besties. Like, and it's to the point where, like, we'll go out, and if, like, we're not with each other, people will question. They'll be like, oh, like, where's Bronte? And I'm like, oh... I do have other friends, but, like, it is cute when they're like, oh, where is she? And I'm like, oh, actually, she's just over there.
Yeah, you're super supportive of each other, which I love. I love what you have to offer. I think you're going to do really, really well.
Thank you.
And I think a lot of people see you as, like, I know you're Bronte's little sister, but they see you as their big sister. Like,
I love that. I love that vibe. And, like, honestly, if anyone ever needed advice or, like, just needed to chat, I love to chat. I could chat literally back legs off a donkey. Like, I could chat for days. So, honestly, like, if anyone ever needed to chat or, like, was just feeling down, reach out, DM me. I don't mind.
I just love your vibe.
Thank you.
You're a vibe, and I'm really appreciative that you came on seriously today.
Thank you, very much.
One more question before we finish.
Sure.
What's one piece of advice you'd give to your younger self?
This is a good one. I feel like, I don't know, just don't deep it, like, it's that saying, it is what it is. Like, just take each day as it comes. Like, just don't sweat the small stuff. Like, everything's going to be okay. They do say everything's going to be okay, and if it's not okay, it's not the end, that kind of vibe.
I love that.
Yes, I don't know. Like, I guess just, it's fine. We're on a floating rock, girlfriend. You're going to be okay. Everything's going to be fine. But yeah, I guess the advice would just don't deep it. It is what it is. Take it day by day. You got this.
I love that. Kirra Schofield, thank you for coming on Seriously.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks, guys, for tuning in this week, and we'll catch you next week for another guest. Bye.